What's up, hungry people?
Where the hell have you been, Luca?
I'm back! I took a little break. I needed to resort my life and get things figured out, and I think this year I'm going to be focusing on food from books. I've been rereading some of my favorite books from childhood and formative teenage years, and unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately, Twilight came out smack in the middle of high school for me. So to say that I got a full dose of Twilight right at the wrong time is an understatement. So if you're into making foods from your favorite movies, books, games, and more, don't forget to flip that sub button to keep your feed fed. Now it's time to bring this classic Twilight dish to life. Bella only orders mushroom ravioli because she's so distracted by Edward that she doesn't even look at the menu. The first time I read Twilight, I remember thinking that mushroom ravioli was literally so fancy. Doesn't matter that I hated mushrooms at the time. Love them now, but at the time you could have not convinced me to try a mushroom ravioli unless it was brought up by Edward Cullen. I mean, I was the target demographic of teenage girls, so my expectations of life were pretty low at the time. I mean, Edward drives a shiny new Volvo, so let's be real. For whatever reason, ordering this dish in like late 2006 was peak millennial girl, let me tell you. So it's time to bring this classic Twilight dish to life. I think I can cook that. First, we have to make sure our set is properly saturated to the color of forks. That's better. For this recipe, I'll be making the pasta from scratch. So we'll add several cups of flour to the bowl of our stand mixer. And you can totally do this without a stand mixer. I'm just lazy. Then we'll add our eggs one at a time. And I'm doing about 1 egg per cup of flour plus 2 extra egg yolks to get my dough to the proper pasta consistency. When the dough is all mixed, it will feel really firm, so we'll need to let it rest for about 30 minutes while we prepare the mushroom filling. For the filling, we'll need to melt some butter, then sauté in portobello mushrooms, some shallot, and minced garlic. When the mushrooms are starting to cook down and the shallot has softened a little bit, we'll deglaze the pan with a splash of marsala wine. Then we'll reduce the temperature so to not burn the cheeses, and add in all of the ricotta, parmesan, and chives all at once. We'll cook it down until the liquid is mostly cooked out and you can pull a spoon through the filling cleanly. Then we'll want the filling to cool for several minutes. It'll be easier to fill the ravioli if the filling is lightly firmed up. So while it cools, we'll make the pasta sheet. The dough at this point should be significantly softer. The flour has now had the time to sort of soak in all of the yolk and get it nice and soft. I have a pasta attachment for my mixer, but you can totally use a regular rolling pin to achieve the same effect. Again, I'm lazy. For mine, I start at the thickest setting and then pass the pasta through several times, making the press go through thinner and thinner passes. And occasionally I'll fold my pasta dough just to kind of keep a consistent shape. But otherwise, just pass it through the press multiple times until we have a perfectly long, thin sheet of pasta. Now that our pasta is nice and rolled out, we can start adding the filling. At this point, the filling will have set up a little bit, so it's the perfect texture to scoop up and dollop in even portions along the sheets of dough. I'm brushing egg on the bottom half of the pasta sheet so the sheet will seal together when the top half is folded over. Then we'll want to press out all of the air around the filling first to properly seal it, then work outwards to press the top half and bottom half together. At this point, you can use a cookie cutter or a knife or any variety of ways to cut out your ravioli. The ravioli can be sealed and covered for up to 24 hours at this point. Next, we'll make the creamy cheese sauce. Start by melting butter until frothy. Then add garlic, chives, pepper, and salt, along with heavy cream. Bring the sauce to a light simmer, then turn off the heat before adding the parmesan. Whisk until the cheese has mostly melted. I prepped a pot of boiling water and dropped in my ravioli last. You only need to boil the ravioli for like 2 or 3 minutes, or until the pasta is nice and tender. If you sealed them up properly, you shouldn't lose too much or any filling from the ravioli. Finally, plate up the raviolis and pour the sauce on top. We'll finish it off with a sprinkle of fresh parsley and more parmesan. And don't forget, you're on a date with a vampire who can read all of the minds in the room except for yours. So if you don't like it, that's on you, Loca. This mushroom pasta is full of umami flavor, slightly salty and completely vegetarian, just like Edward Cullen totally is. Don't forget to gulp down a Coke when you're finished eating. I'm looking for more recipes from books to get myself back into reading and writing for fun. I actually read all of the Twilight books back in high school and college when they first came out. Can't say I finished all of the movies though. Either way, doing a reread of the first book was super nostalgic and honestly pretty campy. I forgot how much funnier book Edward is than movie Edward. I feel like they took a lot of the actual good parts of him in the book to make him into this brooding teenager in the movie, which in 2006, that was pretty much exactly what us teenage girls wanted. Either way, interesting choice for a dish when mushrooms usually represent death and rebirth in books. So it's a good piece of foreshadowing for readers to pick up during future rereads. What fictional feast should I make next? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked this recipe, don't forget to flip that sub button and ring the dinner bell so you can be notified of my latest recipes and foodie adventures that I post almost every week. Do you ever get hungry? Don't forget you can find this recipe and many more with ingredient amounts and step-by-step instructions over on thestarvingchefblog.com. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode.